Hello again, everyone. onlydraven here, and thank you so much for tuning in. This video series is going to be a little different than the majority of content I'm going to put out. This one will be a bit more serious. Today is March the 23rd, 2017. And as some of you may already know, for the past 3 months, I have been working towards kind of a life-changing goal. In 6 days, on the 29th, I will be having bariatric surgery, which is weight loss surgery, of which there are many kinds. And so I thought with this series that I would kind of just, I guess, catalog or document what I'm going through, show updates and, progress, downsides, upsides, the whole kind of thing, and let you guys kind of see what I'm going through and be there with me. So I'll start with kind of what's got me here, okay? It turns out, and you may not all have realized this, but I'm a fat ass, okay? I'm a chunky monkey. I'm an overstuffed sofa, small planet, beached whale. I'm huge, okay? I've been a fat guy for a very long time. It's been probably a central point of my life. A lot of my comedy and humor that I've used has really been based around the fact that I'm a fat ass. So I've been that way since probably 12, 13, right before I moved to the United States. I started to get a little bit heavier, but once I moved to the U.S., I ballooned up 100, 150 pounds in just the first, year or two. Largely in part because the air here is fattening. I'm pretty sure that the oxygen in the air is deep fried, and you gain weight just by breathing. But the real reason I'm fat is not because of a medical condition. A lot of people have those. There's thyroid conditions and different stuff that causes them. I'm fat because I put too much food in my face. Okay? I make no excuses for being fat. I'm a fat guy. And I'm a fat guy because I eat too much. And I don't exercise, and I spend all my time sitting. It's no one else's fault other than my own that I am the way that I am. But, I've been fighting with it for years, since I was a young teenager, struggling, dieting, so on and so forth. The problem is I just don't have any willpower. I don't have any inner strength when it comes to this kind of thing. And I will for a while. There's been several times in my life that I've just gone on diets or made life changes and lost a ton of weight. At one point, 170 pounds I lost in about 2 years. But then I gained it all back again, which is what always happens. I fall off the wagon like a drug addict. And suddenly I'm back filling up my food. And I'm an emotional eater. And I'm a stress eater. I'm an awake eater. If I'm awake, I'll find a reason to eat. When I'm not eating, I'm thinking about eating. When I'm eating a meal, I'm already planning the next meal. And on top of all that, I eat way more than I should, of only the nastiest things. I'll give you an example. A regular person goes to McDonald's, they might get a combo meal. I would go get a combo meal, 4 double cheeseburgers to eat within an hour of being done, and then usually like 20 nuggets to eat on the way home. And I did that all the time. If I went anywhere through a drive-thru, I would get food to eat on the way home until I could get home and eat. And so I just did this all the time. And eventually it caught up with me. And I'd lost a lot of weight. And then I met my wife about 5 years ago. And, we started dating, and so I started taking her out to eat. We went out to restaurants more. And then within about 6 to 8 months of when we started dating, she began to get sick. She started having seizures, multiple in a day, blacking out, weakness, headaches, things of that nature. And over a 1.5 to 2 year period, it ended up she had to have brain surgery. And I gained all my weight back during that time. And at the time, I said it was because I was worried about her, stressed out, or we were traveling so much to doctor's appointment, I had to eat out all the time because we were all out. But those were just excuses. I can see that looking back at it. It was just excuses to get back to eating how I liked to eat, all the food I wanted to eat. I could have packed lunches and taken them to doctor's visits, and I still could have eaten healthy and made better choices when we went out to restaurants, but I didn't. I just ate whatever I wanted, and I ballooned up and got bigger and bigger and bigger. So about a little less than a year ago, at a job I was working, I got to work one evening, and within just a couple of minutes, I started to feel very bad. I turned purple. I couldn't breathe. My chest started to hurt. It felt very heavy, like someone was sitting on my chest. And my boss at the time convinced me to go home and go to the hospital. So I did. I went home, picked up my wife, and then had her drive me to the hospital. And I wasn't in the waiting room a minute and a half, 2 minutes before they rushed me back, started slapping sensors on me, running IVs, and trying to crash me down. My blood pressure was over 210 at that point, and I almost had a stroke. And it was very scary. You know, I'm usually, even though I'm a big guy, I'm pretty healthy. I don't get sick or colds very often. I've never had measles or chicken pox or mumps, any of that stuff. In fact, I have an overactive immune system. I have psoriasis, which is a whole other issue to deal with. But I just don't get regular colds. So when this happened, it was very scary. And I went and saw my primary care physician, and he said that I had blood pressure that was horrendous, and he gave me some blood pressure medication and said that I had 6 months to lose 50 pounds or he was going to strongly recommend surgery. And so I went home and tried to diet and tried to get healthy, but it didn't last. And 6 months later, when I went to the doctor, I was bigger than I was when I almost had the stroke. So I knew that I had reached a point where if I didn't get some help, I may not have much time left to even ask for it. So I told him I needed to have surgery, and he agreed and referred me to an amazing group of people who've been helping me ever since. So I started the process in December, and I was put on an 1,600 calorie diet. And I did that from December 26th through March the 1st. Very strict, specific what I could eat diet. I had to give up a lot of things. And then on March 1st, I started the pre-op diet, which was an 800 calorie diet where all I eat is 6 protein supplements a day. And the protein supplements, some of them are good, some of them are bad. They are nasty. There's a cookie. I can't eat the cookie, okay? It's like someone took ass and made a cookie out of ass. It's literally an ass cookie. And they're like, this is just not ass enough, and then dunked it in some diarrhea. That's what that cookie tastes like. It's horrendous. If you ever have the surgery, don't eat the protein cookies. But the chips and the pastas and the soups are amazing. I can't recommend them higher. Don't eat the cookie. The only thing I've ever eaten worse was probably Vegemite, and I won't do that again either. So, anyways, I've been on this diet now, and since December 26th, I have lost 66 pounds as of this morning, which is a good chunk, but I'm still big. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, dude, do you need to have this surgery? You already lost so much weight. Obviously, dieting works. Just do that. And it is working. It's doing really well. But the problem is it's not going to keep doing well. I don't have the self-control. And the same thing's going to happen that always happens. Eventually, I'm going to get tired of the diet. I'm going to get tired of seeing everybody eat yummy stuff around me while I can't. And someone's going to say, hey, man, you want a donut? Hey, man, I got pizza here. You want a piece of pizza? And I'm going to say yes. And like an addict falling off the wagon, I'll be right back to eating all the nasty stuff I did before. This surgery takes that away. I can't eat like that anymore. I physically can't, even if I wanted to. My stomach won't be able to hold it. That kind of food's going to make me sick. I'll have to be very careful with what I eat. It takes away the option for me to fail. So the surgery is definitely something that I need to have done, and at this point I genuinely want to. And it's scary. It's a major surgery, you know. People can die. You know, I could die. You know, there's a small chance of it, but it's there. Other hernias and other issues, bleeding, blood clots. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in a major surgery. I'm not looking forward to that part. You know, I'm still going to do it. But, yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm excited too. I think it's really going to set me up with a chance to, you know, have a much better life, better quality of life. People have asked me what my number one motivation is, and to be honest, I met my wife when I was about 35 years old. You know, it took me a long time to find her. I'd like to have 35 years with her, you know, and the way I am right now, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead with the surgery, and that's going to be next week. Now I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about the surgery that I'm having, okay, because there's several different kinds of weight loss surgeries. And the one that I'm going to be having is, I don't remember, 1 second. This is why I need cheat cards. I can't trust myself to remember anything. Once you hear the name, you'll understand why I don't remember it. It's called a biliary pancreatic diversion with my duodenum switch. Okay, so what does this mean? Layman's terms. They are going to go in and they're going to cut out 2/3 or more of my stomach permanently. And it's irreversible. I will have a stomach about the size of a golf ball when they're done. The second step is they're going to go into my small intestines, which on the average human is about 30 feet in length. And that's where your food really gets digested. It's where it pulls out the calories and the nutrients and the vitamins and the sugars and all that stuff. And then once it's done in the small intestines, it goes into your large intestines and makes poop. So with the small intestines, they're going to rewire mine, if you will, rerun it, so that it only works, I'm only using the last 3 to 5 feet of it. So food is not in my system very long, which means I don't have time to absorb the calories and the fats and all those things. The downside is I also won't have a lot of time to absorb the vitamins and things that you need to stay healthy as well. So I will be on a very strict vitamin regimen, especially protein regimen, for the rest of my life. I have a huge drawer of medicines that have been prescribed to me at this point that I'll be taking over the next 4 to 6 months. I think I'll be up to 3 liquids, 16 pills, and a nausea patch that I'll be using over the next couple of months. The surgery that I chose of all of them is the most invasive. It's the most permanent, but it's also the most successful. There's a 95% chance of success. Only 5% of people ever gain weight back. And it also, again, offers no option to go back. I can't have it undone. It's a permanent change and forces me to live my life the way the rest of my life. So what I'm going to do over the next few months, maybe even a year, is I'm going to try and post videos every few weeks or a month, kind of just recording my progress, and show you guys some of the things I've done, what I've been through, try to film some at the hospital, a little bit afterwards and such, and just kind of share with you the little adventure that I'm going through. I would definitely love to hear from you all, especially if you're someone who's been through the surgery or is interested in going to surgery and you have questions about the prep, what you need to do to get approved, or, you know, what nasty ass cookies not to eat. Feel free to ask me. I'm happy to answer everything I can that I know so far. What I don't know, I'll be happy to try to look up and find out for you. So please continue to follow me on these videos. You know, keep an eye on me and see how well it goes. Feel free to comment anything you like. I love feedback, positive or negative. Please click like on the video if you enjoy it. Most importantly, please subscribe. You know, subscribe to my channel. That way, when my videos come out, you know when they're there, and you'll be able to, you know, see the progress as it's happening. And I think it's going to be an exciting adventure, but definitely a very challenging one. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, I appreciate you sharing the time with me, and I look forward to sharing the rest of this as I go through it. Thank you.